I'm getting taller every week. That's why I have to keep moving back.
Says you're eating now.
Yeah, I'm eating finally. Danny's here. Danny's cooking for me. All right, guys, you ready? So, last week we covered a good topic. Does anyone remember what it was?
Scarce.
There you go.
There you go.
This guy was paying attention.
I wake up in beast mode.
Oh my lord, bro.
Hey, I'm in beast mode.
Right, you know what? If someone gets a wrong answer, it's time to drop and do 20 push-ups.
That's it.
Right, Harry's gonna start. All right, so let's get started, guys. Today's lesson is gonna be stepping outside of your comfort zone. This lesson sometimes goes right over our heads, or maybe right under our noses, depending how you look at it. We don't take the time to think that this is actually a thing that we might be guilty of, or something that we're just not comfortable with admitting to ourselves. One time when I was debating getting a second administrator, like another administrator to help out, I called my friend who was like the master delegator, and I said to him, "Hey, listen, but I was thinking, you think it's a good idea for me to start, getting another administrator? Because, I'm getting really busy. My girl now, she's super, caught up with a lot of stuff, and I don't know what to do. I don't have enough hours." And he said, "Bro, even if you weren't ready for it, you never are." He's like, you need to always challenge yourself, and if you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. And those words always stuck with me when he said that. He said, if you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. So from that moment on, I was like, you know what? He's absolutely right. I got to really step it up, even if I'm not ready financially, if I'm not ready mentally, emotionally, however you may look at it. You just have to push yourself, because you'll find a way. If you're really serious about what you're doing, you'll always find a way. And that relates in business, in your personal life, spiritually, however you guys want to apply those thoughts, but it works 100%, because if you wait for the right time, the perfect time to execute, you'll never execute. It'll always be what's called the paralysis of analysis. You'll always be thinking, and hoping everything's perfect, and it will never be that perfect time. Barbara Corcoran, I think you guys know who she is, right? She's the lady from Shark Tank. She started Corcoran Group in New York, one of the premier real estate companies out of Manhattan. They asked her, how did you feel when you expanded your business? Because when is the perfect time that you can think back that it was the right time to grow or expand? And she said, it's never the right time to grow, but you always have to grow. So there'll never be the right time. There's always reasons for you not to do it and not to act. And the same thing applies to some of our clients that you guys may be dealing with. And they might tell you, oh no, you know what, this house is this, or this house is that, and it's a perfect house for them, and they're just procrastinating, and they're just making excuses not to buy or not to pull the trigger. And what that is really, they're not stepping out of their comfort zone. They want everything to be peachy, rosy, perfect, a bed of roses in front of them in the path to perfection, and that's never going to happen. So I think that what happens is you guys may have to have this conversation with your clients that in order to buy a house, you have to do one of the most uncomfortable things you'll ever do in your life, and that's take out a mortgage that's 4 or 5 times the amount of money you make every year, to know that you're going to be okay financially if you spend a few $100s more a month than you currently do on rent. Or if they're investors who are the first time investors, you got to explain to them, look, it's going to be a tough road. You're probably going to lose money or break even on your first deal, but it doesn't mean that this is the last deal you'll ever do. You're just going to have to chalk it up to be a learning experience, and if you end up making money on your first flip, then you hit a home run. But there will be that one house that you'll take a loss on, and that's just called the school of hard knocks, and you're going to have to learn from those experiences. People think that just because they failed once, that's it, that's not for them. Then it wasn't meant to be for them from the beginning then, if that's the case. A lot of times for me, it was just that. I took risks, and I took losses, and I just kept going, and I just kept trooping with business, with flipping homes, with relationships, everything. It's just in life, there's nothing that's ever going to be perfect. So today's lesson is based on this: stepping outside of your comfort zone. We don't ever want to be in that zone where everything is just comfortable and we're just okay, because what's going to happen is your lifestyle is going to grow out of that comfort zone or wherever you are, and then you're going to be left behind. Other people around you are not in their comfort zone. A lot of people around you are pushing themselves, waking up earlier, exercising, eating right, getting more clients, doing more prospecting calls. And we don't want to be those guys who are like, you know what, I was comfortable doing 30 closings a year, but now what happens is that I have my kids going to go to college, but I'm still comfortable with the 30 closings. So now what do I got to do? I got to go ahead and reinvent myself. So you should always be pushing yourself daily, if not, quarterly, but every day you should try to do a little bit something that is not in your quote-unquote comfort zone. So I want you guys to answer the first question that says, in what areas in life are you not pushing yourself? Be honest with yourselves, because there's no reason for you guys to lie to yourselves. You guys are the only ones that are accountable for it. So I need you to write down, in what areas in your life are you not pushing yourself? I'm personally guilty sometimes of getting so caught up in work and pushing myself harder in work that I don't push myself enough mentally or spiritually. I should make more time to pray. I should make more time for my reading. I should make more time sometimes for even my girls, or my wife, and take her out, to a spontaneous lunch date or something. But I always try to put all these things ahead of everything else, just because I feel like it's the most important thing. And I saw a video, you guys might have watched this before. It was a really, really interesting video where this a professor, he goes in front of the classroom and he takes his jar out and then he fills it up with golf balls. Who's seen it? Anybody? Right? You guys know the moral of the story, right? So he fills it up with golf balls and he asks the class, is this jar full? And everyone says, yes, it's full. So then he takes out some chocolate chips or something. Now, I think he takes out the chocolate chips first. So he takes out the chocolate chips and then he fills that in. And then he said, how about now? Is it full? And he says, yes, it's full. And then everyone says, okay, now what? The guy pulls out a bag of sand, right? And then he fills it up with sand. And he said, how about now? Now everyone's like, oh, it's definitely full now. But then he pulls out 2 beers and he dumps 2 beers in there. And then he's like, okay, now it's completely full because there's no air left in there. It's completed to the top. Yeah. So what he was trying to explain by this is that the golf balls should be your priorities in life. And those things should always come first, right? You should always have those things prioritized, where it's family, it's God, it's whatever it is that should be, in a rightful place. And then the chocolate chips are your work, they're maybe your extracurricular activities. The sand may be the things that you want to do with your life, in the future, the long-term goals. And then the beer part was to say that, at the end of the day, you can always make more time for a beer with a friend, or a discussion with a friend, or to call someone just to see how they are. So it was a great lesson that he showed by giving this example. But I think that you guys should be also in the same state of mind when coming to pushing yourself. So if you're not totally honest with yourselves, I really want you to really check yourselves and give me that answer in number 1, where it says, in what areas in life are you not pushing yourself? So I just shared with you guys 2 examples of myself, which is my spiritual life and my academic life, where I'm learning more, where I should be making more time to learn. I'm totally consumed with work sometimes, like 12-hour, 14-hour work days. Would anyone like to share with me what example? Sam, please, with you.
Personal growth and definitely close networking includes keeping up with people that I know.
Mm-hmm.
I get so caught up in work and other things that I forget about myself, which is not a good thing at all. But I'll keep on doing it, and then what happens? I crash afterwards. I work too much, and I'll realize that I'm starting to get sick. I get a fever because I didn't rest then, and then all of a sudden I can't work. I'm gonna work for 2 days. I think if I balance myself out more, and I never work with a lot of people. And I know a lot of people. My problem is that I get so caught up with work again that I forget to reach out to those people at least once a month, and then relationships start to tear down.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. There's solutions to obviously there's solutions to the keeping up with your contacts. If Sam, if you really make time to prioritize like your conversion account will always remind you of the people you put in there that you said you were going to follow up with. So if we're really disciplined when it comes to conversions for 30 days, I guarantee you it'll be a part of your everyday thing. It really is meant for us to be able to leverage ourselves, because even if we're not keeping up with them, the system will, but it always deserves at least a human phone call, maybe once a month or every 2 months. So that's a good example. I know you stepped in there, Ricardo, but we're talking about right now In what areas in life are you not pushing yourself? We're talking today about stepping outside of your comfort zone. All right, so be brutally honest with yourself. Put something down that you are conscious of and that you're going to do something about. Lim, I know you're very passionate about your work, just like I am. Is there something that you're not pushing yourself enough with?
Yes. Well, I need to push a little bit more on myself on calling, my calendar, and reading.
And reading, right? Yeah, it's super important. Yeah, so I mean, there's not too much to be said about that, but I know that everyone here might know the importance of reading or have a goal of how many books they want to read in a month or in a year. Personally, I haven't really been keeping up, like Lynn said, with my reading, but I think now what I'm trying to get into is right before bed, always just hit. I don't care if it's one page, like one page it will eventually lead to the whole book. But end my day and start my day with just a little bit of reading, and before you know it, a book will be done. If it's a book a month, that's not a lot, man. It's 200 pages, the average book. If you're reading 5 pages a day, or 4 pages a day, that's going to be an entire book plus, in that much time. So every little bit helps. All right, so we're going to move on to the number 2, where it says, write an example of when you did something that was uncomfortable. And I'm going to want some volunteers for this, but I'll give you guys an example for myself. Write an example of when you did something that was uncomfortable. Well, the first thing that I could think of being uncomfortable was when I was a kid. I remember going back to even back then. I wasn't really comfortable with myself because I was always like kind of like a little bit of an outcast. I was overweight, and a lot of kids made fun of me. And I tried out for a team sport, which was really an individual sport, because wrestling was a big culture in Raleigh High School, and I started in junior high, which was a disadvantage to me because most of the kids in my school, in my town, they started from when they were like 4 or 5 years old. It's like a culture in that town. So right off the bat, I stepped into a sport that was like foreign to me, and I got pinned like left and right. Like the coach would like tease me, make fun of me, whatever, and I was like, you play basketball, you can blame it on your teammates. You play football, the quarterback had a lousy day. But when it's a one-on-one sport, there has no one to blame but yourself. And that's why I actually had this conversation with my nephew this morning, that wrestling builds a lot of character, or any one-on-one sport builds a lot of character, because there's no other person in that mat besides you and your opponent. So you can't blame anyone. If you're not on your game, it's because of you. So I did a sport that I was totally uncomfortable with the mentality of somebody who was never really that confident of themselves. And a few short years later, I actually became a really good wrestler. And I didn't continue wrestling in high school after my, I think it was my sophomore, junior year, because I just got so involved in work. And I mean, I regret that now, because I have the rest of my life that I could have done that. And I would never let my kids put work before something they really enjoyed like that. But I did, and that was one of the things that I regret doing in my life. But I made myself uncomfortable by doing that, and I became a much more confident person after that. I was actually a pretty good wrestler at the end of the day, and it made me become a tremendous athlete, which builds character. So that was an example of myself that I stepped out that comfort zone, and as a result, how did it make me feel? I'm sorry, I forgot the L in that sentence. But how did it make me feel? Like I said, it made me feel awesome. Gave me a ton of confidence, and I would encourage anyone to do the same thing, whether it's in a sport activity or if it's something that's out of your realm of reality. So for Harry, I'm sure you've got a story you can share with us. Did you ever do something, Harry, that made you feel uncomfortable, but you did it anyway? You've always got a good story.
Yeah. Speaking in front of a group of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true.
And I remember this old timer telling me, "Are you nervous?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Good, that's God shaking the truth at you." And that resonated with me, so that it's okay to feel nervous. And the things that are uncomfortable that you're doing are the things that you said in order to grow. Mm-hmm. And I've done it so much that you could ask me to speak on the spot. I won't even hesitate, no problem.
Yeah.
Because I've done it so much.
That's beautiful. That's 100% true. I know everyone in here wasn't born with the gift to stand in front of someone and just start talking. It develops, Like I'm okay with it now, and I actually look forward to those types of things. But I used to turn red when like the the attention turned on me, and I just didn't know what to, I just wanted the attention away. And it just, no one is going to, and no one can say, oh man, I don't get in front of a camera, or I don't get in front of people because I get nervous. That's just a cop-out, that's really what it is. Give yourself the time to develop. Nobody was perfect on first attempt, so I recommend that everybody tries doing that at least once. All right guys, so I'm going to give you guys some examples of how to avoid being comfortable. All right, first, and if you guys have other ones to add to this, please, I want to hear some suggestions. You should always have clear, concise, and visible goals, right? How important is that? If you always want to grow, you always want to step outside of your previous comfort zone, you should always have goals that are obtainable within the short term and within the long term, and detailed. Not like one day I want to be rich. No, if you want to be rich, you would say one day I want to have, complete debt free. I want to have X amount of money in savings. Like, you guys should be very detailed, very precise about what it is that you want. If you want to be a successful real estate agent, don't say I want to be a top agent. You say I want to close 100 transactions, or I want to service 60 listings. Whatever it is that you guys want to do, make sure it's very clear. And make sure that it's not a goal that is weak. If you're doing currently 10 closings a year, don't make your goal for next year 11 closings. Push yourselves, because even if you fall short, you're still going to do a lot more than what you were probably going to do if you set yourself a low standard. Now, the second example would be have accountability meetings. Now, I know with some of you guys, I've offered this, but anyone here is welcome to ask me, or ask a partner, or ask anyone to be their accountability partner, which means that once a month or once every 2 weeks, however long you guys think you need to be accountable for yourselves, and just see if you're actually doing the things you're supposed to do during that time, to see if you're actually pushing yourself. The goals that you're setting for yourself, have they been? Don't worry about it now, dude. We'll get out on the next one. To see if we can actually get ourselves out of that zone where we're currently in and stagnant. I've done it with a few of you guys, and I see some progression already. So I really encourage you guys to either ask me or ask someone to be your accountability partner. And if it's not all about work and you want to be accountable for reading more books or attending more important charity events, whatever, you can ask your husband, your wife, whoever it is that you're with and you're spending time on your off time. What you should also look into is having a partner, a coach, or a mentor, right? And a partner doesn't mean you're splitting your money halfway with everyone. A partner just means someone that you feel comfortable doing things with. Like, for instance, I have, thank God now that, Danny's here, he's a blessing, because he's my accountability partner in the gym. He's my accountability partner now when he's around me shooting, because I know he's here for a purpose. So the same thing with you guys. If you guys are having a hard time getting to your workout routines, get a partner. If you guys have a hard time making your phone calls, get a partner, because what's going to happen is you guys are going to hold each other accountable, and it's going to be a little more fun. What's going to happen is that if one day you get a nasty phone call, you get a nasty person on the phone, if you're prospecting, or you get a nasty person on the road when you're door knocking, you're going to be down on yourself. But if you're with a partner, you guys will make fun of it, and you guys will have make a joke out of it. Like, one time I had this guy who was so mean on the phone. He was just terrible. He was just so miserable. And what I did was I told Diego, he was prospecting with me at the time, I said, Diego, I got this really hot listing. This guy is super ready to sell. Call him at 3 o'clock because he's waiting for our call. He's like, all right, bro. So he calls him at 3 o'clock, and this guy chewed him out. And he was like, bro, why did you do that to me, man? So you make fun of it, man. It's a fun thing to do. It's not necessarily have to be something where you guys can, be down on yourselves, but it's an awesome thing to do. If you don't have the ability to have a partner, there's always coaches. Some of these guys are pretty expensive, so I think twice before paying for a coach when you have a lot of great people around you. Or a mentor. Pick a mentor and have your mentor make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. At the end of the day, right, and the next example is at the end of the day, you should recap your day, right? What did you do today, right? Make an accountability list for yourself. What did I accomplish today? Were my goals and my intentions, were they met? What is it that I really should have been doing? What things did I do that I shouldn't have done? These are the things that are tough, and they're a little bit uncomfortable for yourselves to get in the routine of checking, but it's really important. Right? If you guys worked at a store, at the end of the day, you have to do an accounting for your merchandise. You have to do an accounting for your money. You have to do accounting for everything. But you guys are a business as well, and you should think of yourselves as one. So at the end of the day, you should do an and accounting for your time and accounting for your activities and accounting for all the negative things that you did that day that you shouldn't be doing. So really important, guys, get in the habit of doing that. If you're not doing it now, at least mentally, you don't have to write it down if you don't feel the need to, but it's always good to at least check yourself at the end of the day. Having your to-do list. I know a lot of you guys have gotten into the habit of having this, and a to-do list is really important. Prioritizing your to-do list is equally as important, so make sure that on your to-do list you make sure that the things that you want to accomplish that day, things you want to accomplish that week, and things you need to accomplish, period, one day or another. So I'm not going to go into too much details about a to-do list because you guys, I'm sure, know what that is. You should next item is that you should read and listen to people who who are where you want to be. That's what I meant to write. Listen and read to people who are where you want to be. So this is almost the same thing as having a mentor, but this is what you're doing when you're on your free time or when you're driving in a car and you're at the gym by yourself. You listen to people who are doing the things that you want to be doing and see what it is that makes their day different than your day. What activities are they doing? What type of things can you take away from that person? The reason why we do so much media in this office is because all the people that I was looking up to did nothing but media, and then I was like, you know what, that'll definitely help us grow, and it has. It's been a really big part of our success. So I just wanted to give you guys an example of how that works. Next one, ask for criticism, right? Harry is awesome at doing this because Harry always says, bro, did I do this right? Did I say this wrong? Can you tell me if I was right for this? And you know what? I love that because all you're doing is you're sharpening your sword. You're asking other people who will give you the God honest truth, to your face, if you're right or if you're wrong. And at the same time, I've picked up this habit in my life too. Whenever I have a discussion with somebody or I have a disagreement with someone, before I'm quick to make an assumption, I ask a non-biased third party, hey man, do you think what do you think I should do about that? Do you think I should talk to him? Do you think I should give him time? Am I wrong? Are they wrong? You don't always want to say, hey, listen, I'm right just because I'm Lewis, or I'm right because I'm me. The other person may be right, or you both may be wrong. You just need, sometimes you need a critique from someone else, and everything, because if you get into an argument with a client, did you trigger something to make that client upset? How did you respond to the client? How was your tone with that client? Was the client totally wrong? Sometimes, it might be just that. Your client may be a total miserable person, and it's your job to take their energy and transform it. You got to make them think like, okay, you're upset about something, right? I consider myself to be pretty good at this. If I catch somebody and they're upset, I feel like it's a challenge, right? It's a challenge. Now, you're challenging me, right? Either I'm going to absorb your energy or I'm going to make you absorb mine, and we'll see who comes out at the end winning. So even if sometimes you guys feel like you're kissing their butt or you're sucking up or whatever at the end of the day, if you turn that conversation, however you turn that conversation into a positive one, you won. No matter what. You didn't kiss anyone's butt, because at the end of the day, your day is going to end up better that day, and you're going to still get paid for that transaction. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win for you. One time I tried to go the opposite route of what I usually do, and I became argumentative with my client because I thought that I was so right that he was had no leg to stand on. You know what he did? He called the real estate commission on me, and I got a visit from the commission a few weeks later. So you're not going to win, no matter what. If you're right, you're wrong. You're still gonna lose. So never take the side of you always being right with your client. Okay, so next topic: call someone that you've been avoiding. Right? I'm sure everybody in this room has someone that they are trying to avoid like the plague. But is that healthy or is that unhealthy? And I'm one to be. I'm so guilty of this. I'm probably the most guilty person in the room. I have family that I avoid, and that's not good.
It's healthy because you're practicing being uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure, but how that's working. But I just know that what I did, and guys, I have to do a list of people, and I should just go down the list and and just get them all out. But there was someone that I considered a good friend, and somewhere along the line, he became a dishonest person, started ripping people off, and I avoided him. He did it to me too, and I was upset with him. And we saw each other recently at a county fair or something, and he avoided me and I avoided him. It was just uncomfortable. So what I did after that is I tried calling him to just vent, my frustration and the way I felt with him, but he didn't answer. So I sent him a long text message letting him know that there's no need to respond. I just want to let you know that we used to be good friends at one point, and I don't know where things got misconstrued between you and I, but I just want you to know that I always love you like a brother, but I know that our paths have gone in different ways, and I left it like that. He never responded to me, but you know what? After that, I felt like a ton of bricks was off my back because I said what I had to say. And I think that everyone in this room probably has someone like that, and if you challenge yourselves this week to reach out to that person and say, listen, I don't know who was right or who was wrong, but I'm sorry if I ever offended you. And, if you don't, want to comment or respond, that's fine. I just want you to know that I do feel that it's time for me to say something about this, tension that's between us.
I think you should make sure it's genuine, too.
Yeah.
Don't just do it to do it.
Don't just do it to do it.
Ready to do that.
To forgive them.
It can backfire.
Yeah, and it should not be every person on your list, because there might be 20 people on your list, and 5 of them you're like, I'm not ready for this person, But there's some people that you're like, you know what? Yeah, it's time, man. Yeah. It's time. Yeah. There's no reason why you and I should be mad when we can't even remember why we were mad to begin with. And Harry, that's a really good point. Keep a journal, and this is going back to like prehistoric times, guys. Like Leonardo da Vinci kept a journal. All the greats kept a journal. Like every single person that you've ever been anything has kept a journal. And it's because your mind is not foolproof. You never remember everything, and you're always going to have these like great ideas and aha moments that will eventually slip your conscious. And what's going to happen is that if you keep a journal, you'll always have something handy that either you can write down important things to you, be grateful about things, make yourself challenges for the day, keep track of your workout. Like I have a journal for the gym and I have a journal for my business, and it's just the best thing you guys can do is just keep a little small pocket-sized journal, put it in your purse, put it in your pocket, however you guys want to do it. But it's a really great tool to have. Tell everyone what you want to accomplish, right? The best way to make sure that you get to your goals is you tell everyone what your goal is, because once you start telling it and repeating it and putting it out into the world, it starts to become reality. And if you believe it and its perception to you, like that's the way you perceive yourself, then it's going to become reality. Like any great person that's ever accomplished anything has never doubted themselves and says, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to do that. I mean, who knows? God knows. If you really believe in it and you say it, you're good. You believe it and you say it and you tell everyone. Now it's not only that your conscience is believing it, but now you're accountable because you ran into this person, and next time you see them, you better do what you said you were going to do, because now the whole world knows. So it's if you guys aren't comfortable with doing that, try it. I'm going to ask everyone in this room what they want to accomplish, and I guarantee you, if you start repeating it more often, you're going to start believing it internally, and then other people are going to be like, hey, you said you were going to take 2 listens this month. How's that going? What you're doing? You're going to lose 30 pounds? How's that going for you? I see you eating a Big Mac. It's not working. So accountability is really important when you tell other people what you want to accomplish, right? All right. Lastly, right, take risk, right? And when I tell you guys take risk, I don't mean like just be straight like jumping off a cliff and just hope that you grow wings on the way down. I'm talking about there's things that you guys should really be taking risks on, and it's like sometimes it's like so like common sense, and I'm like, it's not a risk, it's just like obvious, it's common sense, just do it, right? So if you guys are not prone to taking risks or being aggressive or being more even optimistic is really what it comes down to, check yourselves, because nothing great is going to happen if you guys do not take calculated risks, right? If something is way outside the box, write a pro and con sheet, and if you have more pros than cons, then just scratch out all the cons and just keep going. There's a saying that says, is the juice worth the squeeze? You guys have heard that before? No. Is the juice worth the squeeze? So if the juice that you want is worth all the hard work of the labor of squeezing that orange or squeezing that fruit, whatever it is, then go for it, right? So if your risk that you're taking is, let's just say you want to hire an administrative assistant, right? That's a risk, right? Now you're not only worried about yourself and your family, but now you also have to worry about someone else and making sure that they get paid. Is that a risk? Yes, it is. It's definitely a risk. There's a risk of you having to fire that person, or owing that person money, or not being able to pay your rent that month because you paid someone else's salary. It's definitely a risk, but you got to remember, what are the pros? You're going to become more You're going to become more productive. You're going to have more things to offer your clients, more time for your family. So there are pros and cons to everything, but is that a calculated risk or is that a reckless risk? You know, that's stupid. If you went to Atlantic City and said, here's this week's commission and I'm going to put it on black, that's just a stupid risk. You know, like that's not what I encourage you guys to do. But there are things in life, there are risks, and you guys should be okay with taking them because it's only going to help you grow. And it's going to help you get to that next level in your life. I want you guys to give me an example. Any one of you guys can chime in and give me an example of any one of these things that I just went over. I know Harry's great with a lot of this stuff, but is anyone else here in the room could share something or one of these topics that I just covered?
Don't be shy, guys.
Yeah, don't be shy.
Yeah,
Danny will edit you off. You guys sound crazy.
one thing I
Yeah.
noticed in the list, there's not a lot about preparation in it.
Preparation, right? See, that's the thing. I'm asking you guys to contribute.
Preparation is, I don't care, you know, I've been around a long time, done a lot of things, and I never was any good at anything till I did the preparation. And the preparation is learning the business. What you doing? Learn what to say. The couple of times I've been here, we've talked about what you say when they say when. Well, that's just preparation. That's all that
Practice,
is.
yeah.
And somewhere in here, you probably ought to talk about preparation.
Yeah. So getting, if you want to get out of your comfort zone with anything, right? Practice or prepare
Prepare
for that thing that you want.
Absolutely.
But
Really
the
important.
question is how to avoid being comfortable.
So how to avoid being comfortable?
That's making yourself comfortable.
Yeah, it
How to
is.
avoid it.
You're almost becoming comfortable with the next level, I guess is what he's saying. If you're uncomfortable of being, if you're, I guess that's what he's saying.
If I'm uncomfortable talking to a FSBO, for example,
Yeah, then
right,
prepare
I'm
yourself for that.
uncomfortable. If I'm uncomfortable,
He's 100%
I'm on the
right.
board of a FSBO. Am I going to get more comfortable once I learn a dialogue or learn how to do it?
Right.
We used an example a couple weeks ago, riding a bicycle. You comfortable riding a bicycle first time you ever got on it? No. But you got comfortable, didn't you?
Yeah.
Scrapes and bruises.
Yeah, and practice and practice and practice. It's everything to me. I'm an old coach, so everything to me is preparation, preparation, preparation. You know, I mean, I come and do these little classes for you, and I prepare.
Yeah.
I always prepare. I tell you what would make me uncomfortable is standing up here not knowing what I was talking about.
100%.
You know, standing up here not knowing what I was talking about. So it's in the preparation.
100%. You got one of you guys had your hands raised? I don't know if it was Paul, Sam.
Talking about risks, I totally agree, can go opposite way. It is scary, it's nerve-wracking, but something that can fuel your risk and the ability to determine what kind of risk you should take is where you want to be in life. I mean, simple as that. We're all sitting in this room, we're all realtors. We don't get $60,000 a year. We don't have a salary.
No.
There's no guarantee for us to make money. There's no guarantee period. No health insurance, there's nothing. And where do you want to be in life? You look yourself in 10 years, where do you want to be? What drives you? And that should determine what kind of risk you want to take. If you can take a bigger risk, take it. But at the end of the day, priorities are priorities, right? I mean, you can't put all your eggs in one basket and just jump around with it. That's not the safest thing to do.
Yeah.
But if you want to get somewhere in life, you're going to have to take risks. We can all take the easy road out. We can go get an easy job, get an easy salary, get some days off. The regular spiel, you know. But hey, you want to be rich today? You want to be rich tomorrow? Then we got to do what we got to do.
Preparation reduces the risk.
Yeah. Reduces anxiety too. Harry. Go ahead.
I think for how to avoid being comfortable, for me, it's like the things that someone may ask me, whatever it is, and like that little voice inside of me is like, nah, I wouldn't do that. Now I'm doing it just because of that.
Yeah, because someone's doubting you.
Because that's something that, no, myself.
Yeah, your little voice
Myself,
inside of you.
Fear, like, oh, I don't think you can do that. Now I'm doing it just because my inner voice said that so I can grow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
And you reap the benefits.
It's very true. I mean, I see things like that other people accomplish, like physically, and I'm like, I want to do that. Like I see, like when Danny was a stupid example, but Danny was like a good mentor for me when I went to Texas. I went to the gym with him, and this kid's doing handstand push-ups, and I was like, I want to do that. And I was scared to go on my hands to begin with, and I'm like, now I got to do push-ups with it. And now he's here. I've actually been working at it, and now I can hang with him. But He's still always a step ahead because he's a lot younger than me, but I'll catch
A
up.
lot, yeah.
Yeah, I'll catch up.
You'll get there.
Couple of kids.
Yeah.
Practice.
Practice, that's what
Hey,
practice.
that's
Yeah.
everything. That's
I got it.
preparation.
Yeah, I didn't, I wasn't born doing handstand push-ups. I worked my way through
Yes,
it.
you were.
You and your mom
Hey, Dan, and you went to the weight room and the weights lifted themselves, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
That's awesome. All right, I gave you guys some really great quotes and a Bible verse as well. This stuff is really great. I mean, there's some good stuff here that could really propel you guys to the next level. So I want you guys to study it, and just concentrate on it, and know that you're not the first person in the world that's ever been uncomfortable or that has a problem challenging themselves. You guys will definitely reap the benefits, but the only person that's ever going to make that happen for you is going to be yourself. So hopefully you guys took a lot out of this class, and I'll hand it over to Tom.
Today, we're going to finish up the FSBO and expired things, and next time I come, we're going to start talking about working with buyers and how to talk to buyers, etc., etc., etc. And we're going to do a little review, and we're going to do a little handout with a review and so forth, because you never learn this stuff without repetition. You can't learn it without repetition. Now, some of you, Stephanie walked out of here last week. What was the first thing you did, Steph? When you walked out of here, last week when you walked out of here, what was the first thing you did?
She went to bed.
No, she made a copy of the handout and put some notes all over it, and was sitting right here with it. Yeah, remember that? Remember that? And that's part of the repetition. Part of the repetition. So we're going to finish up talking about FSBOs and how they think and so forth, and then we're going to get in the house. We're going to, knock or call and get into FSBO's house and talk about what we do in there besides walk around. All right? So let's back up to the FSBO, the beginning of it again. Understand the FSBO. Understand the FSBO. They absolutely want to sell, right? They go put out a sign, they do a little advertising, they might even have an open house or two because they want to sell. They have a plan to sell. What's the next thing you knew about FSBOs? They want to get the most money they can, so they want to save the commission. Just like we want the commission, they want to save it. So the game is they're going to take the money or we're going to get the money. Right? One way or the other, but we got to have a plan to do it. And nearly all of the FSBOs have a preset time. I'm going to do this for a month. If this thing's not sold in a month, I'm going to talk to realtors.
I've seen that Facebook for 2 years.
You know why? You know why the sign's still there?
She's a realtor.
Huh? Oh, that could be too, because she's a realtor. But primarily it has to do because they can't afford to sell it with a realtor. They owe so much money on it, they can't afford to sell it with a realtor. That's the prime example. So understand this. Understand this. Don't think that they don't think this way, because they do, always. All right, so if you're going to do that, somebody knock on the FSBO door for me real quick. Knock on the FSBO door. Anybody got a dialogue? Anybody got a plan? We gave you one last week. What are you going to do, Harry?
Hi, hello.
Hey, okay. Sorry, before you start, never say hi.
Okay.
Never say hi. It's a business. It's a business. Hello. Okay. Are you calling or are you knocking on the door?
Well, recently, just the other day, I went knocking on the doors with Stephanie.
You went knocking on a few doors. Okay, good. Tell me about it. Tell her what you said and tell me about it.
I went to the door. I said hi.
You
Is that
say-
being like a professional? Is that what?
Yeah. Hello. Hello. Hi is something you say to my buddy. Okay? You say hello. All right? Same way on the telephone. It's hello.
I said I'm a local realtor.
All right?
Taking advantage of this beautiful day
Okay.
and
Okay.
introducing myself to people to see if they'd be willing to sell.
What happened to you?
He's getting overwhelmed over here. Nervous.
Yeah. What happened to you? I mean, I got the answers for you before you start, so that's all right, though.
Well, one, we didn't really prepare, which I told them, but we just rolled with it because we took it as practice.
Okay.
That way we know
It was a
our
beautiful day to
better.
take advantage of. It was like the last minute thing. I'm like, Steph, let's go.
Let's go call a yes.
Cancel on me. So
All right. So you went up to the door and you said what you said, and what did they say?
Some of them were saying that they have been thinking about selling.
Well, they have been thinking about selling. If they're Frisbone, they're already thinking about selling.
No, they weren't Frisbee when they weren't on for sale. By the owner.
Regular door knocking.
This is just going to a door random.
Okay. Well, we were talking about doing it Frisbone wise.
No, I'm sorry then. Never mind.
Yeah. If you do it Frisbone wise, this is what's going to happen to you. What do you think's going to happen to you?
They're gonna probably say no.
What's going to happen to you is all in this right here. What's going to happen to you is all in this right here.
Depends where they're at.
What stage of Frisboism they're in.
I would know they're in the process.
We're not working. It starts with this up here. We're not working with realtors. Oh, you'll see a sign that says no realtors. You ever seen a sign that says no realtors? I used to go knock on doors when I saw a sign that says no realtors. Says the reason I came over here, my manager sent me and said I was as close to no realtor as he had. However, but it depends on the stage of Frisboism. You gotta understand how they think. You really do. I know a lady who's retired now, out of the business, used to list 18 to 20 of these things a year. 18 to 20, and she did it always. Alright? Always knock on the door. So let's look at the stages of Frisboism. They start out no agents. I'm not working with agents. I'm going to sell it myself. I don't need a real estate agent, right? And where do they go from there? Next thing is, well, it's got a little tough for them, so they ask this question. Do you have a buyer for my house? Oh, you're a real estate agent, Harry? You got a buyer for my house?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Show it to me, then. You got a buyer? Bring me your buyer.
Okay, I want to take a look at your property.
Yeah, here's the answer. Here's the answer. Somebody just almost said it. I work with a lot of buyers. Do you have a buyer for my house? I don't know. I haven't seen your house, but I work with a lot of buyers. Right? What are you doing right away? Right away, this guy's thinking, oh, you got buyers? I don't have buyers. You got buyers. Right? I work with a lot of buyers. So you got to have a canned answer. I can everything. Like I said. Step 3 says they hit the depression stage. You know, that's not easy as we thought it was going to be. Especially if it's a couple, it's the wife that hits the depression stage. Right? She's tired of somebody's going to show the house this afternoon. I got to make the bed and all that kind of stuff. They hit the depression stage. So here's the question. If you want to get into the depression stage, here's the question. Are you enjoying selling your own home? Are you enjoying selling your own home? Remember that from last week? All this is just over and over. I just keep doing the same stuff over and over and over. Are you enjoying selling your own home? And then look at her.
See if she's being genuine.
No, here you go. Here's what will happen. You'll see the smile and the eye-to-eye contact. Oh yeah, we're doing all right, yeah. Or you'll see that. Okay? What did I just do?
Put your head down.
I just look down. I don't want to make eye contact with you because I'm really not enjoying selling my own home. It's not as much fun as we thought it was going to be, and it's not sold. So what do they start doing? They're already interviewing realtors. They already talked to realtors. Now, most guys and most people that try FSBOs, they'll knock on the door one time, and if they say they're not working with agents, what happens to them? I'm not calling them anymore. Yeah? But if they go through the stages, they're going to list with the person who kept in contact with them, call them every week or two, hi, how you doing? You had any luck? Blah, blah, blah. You know, or there's somebody who offered to give them a little information about how to sell their house, which we'll get to in a minute. All right? So understand the stages. Don't let the stages of FSBOism fool you. Understand the stages of FSBOism. All right, so knock, knock. Harry, we got in the house. Now what am I going to do?
Take a look at the house.
All right, just take a look. Okay. But do you have a planned look?
No.
You're just going to walk around the house. Right? Got to have a plan. Got to have a plan for everything. Let's have a plan. Let's have a plan for in the house. First thing it says up there is search for common ground. Search for common ground. Search for something to talk about. Last week, I told you last week about seeing my kid's picture on the wall? Remember that? Yeah, I didn't tell you that. I know I told you that. I said there's a Little League picture on the wall, and his grandson and my son played on the same Little League team. So common ground. What was the common ground? Baseball. Search for common ground. People got to have a first impression of likability, right, Lewis? Mm-hmm. If I don't like you, I ain't going to do a daggone thing with you. Yeah. Right? You got to have an initial likability with them. So you search for some common ground, something to make it easy to talk about. Because
we actually had that. Lou and I, we went on a listing appointment. And I told him as a cancer survivor, bring that mentality, and he had a life and death experience, and was like right after that we kind of just...
I had one of those too, so I died once, so seriously. Okay, what's the next one say? It says demonstrate knowledge. Demonstrate knowledge of homes, what buyers are looking for. Alright, if we knock this wall out and enlarge the kitchen, it would probably help you get a lot more money for your house. You get all this wallpaper up here. It would probably be better if we just took that off and painted the walls neutral colors and so forth. Demonstrate some knowledge of what? Demonstrate some knowledge of what buyers are looking for. Demonstrate some knowledge of what buyers are looking for as you look at the house. How many of you in here can walk in a house and tell how big a room is? Almost. You can, I know. How big is this room?
12 by 14.
12 by 14 or 12 by 15, 16, yeah. Absolutely. Oh, nice bedroom. I see you've got a second bedroom here that's about 12 by 14. They're thinking, how the hell do you know that?
Guy's got a lot of experience.
Well, all you're trying to do is demonstrate some knowledge. Now, somewhere in there, especially, it says, plant some seeds of doubt. Plant some seeds of doubt. What does that mean?
That they're probably not going to do well on their own without you.
I don't know. Might be. But what
It'd be tough selling this without a realtor.
Oh, yeah. Is that very good? That's not very good, is it? You think that's very good?
Good luck with that. I'm sure there's other approaches.
I'm sure there's other approaches, absolutely. Let me ask, were you aware that about 90-95% of the houses that sell are sold by realtors? Were you aware of that? You know why? There's 4 kinds of buyers out there. Remember this? This is all review. There's 4 kinds of buyers out there. What are the 4 kinds of buyers? Anybody remember last week? Serious and in a hurry was the first one.
Serious but looking.
Serious but not in a hurry. Okay?
Lookers.
Lookers? And? I forgot the 4th one myself.
Non-qualified buyers?
Yeah, well, that's good enough. I can't remember. But anyway, plant some seeds of doubt. I used to plant seeds of doubt. Remember what I told you last week about you take that Sunday advertising page out of the newspaper and you highlight the FSBOs? 90-95% of the people that buy houses buy through a realtor. You know why?
That's a fact?
Yeah. You know why? Because we control 90-95% of the inventory. That's where I was trying to go on. We control 90-95% of the inventory. Let me
show you.
Show you, absolutely. Show you. Here's a page full of Sunday's advertising. Here, it looks like about 5% of the page is FSBOs. Is that right? So, who controls the other 95% of it? Realtors. If we control 95% of the inventory, what else do we control about 95% of?
Buyers.
The buyers. Absolutely. So, can you see why it's a little difficult to sell your own house?
I've also read that the founder of ForSaleByOwners.com ended up listing with a realtor. It was true.
Is that a fact or?
Yeah, it's not read it.
100%.
It's an urban research.
Just want to make sure. I'll use that.
Yeah.
Sure you can use it. Sure you can use it.
I would crush their dreams. That's
Sure you can use it.
bad to see now right there.
Yes, sir.
I thought about some seeds of doubt. When I went into a FSBO, they actually had a buyer there, but I'm like,
Okay.
we started to get in somebody that was really interested in the house as I was walking through it. And I said, well, after they walked out, I said, there's other things you're going to have to worry about. Like, it's not just about the price. You're going to have to worry about, the inspection stage. And and when can they close? And she said at that point, she goes, as a matter of fact, they can't close for 2 months or something like that. And it was a vacant house.
So you want the good question? I see that you had somebody here looking at the house. So, do you have a qualified buyer? What are they going to say?
I don't know.
I don't know. Right? I don't know.
I hope so.
I think so, I hope so, but do I know? I don't really know.
Well, that's exactly how it went down.
Yeah, sure, they don't know. They didn't know anything about their buyers.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem with FSBO. You know, remember last week we talked about quiet buyers? Remember that? What did we say about quiet? Do you have any quiet buyers at your house? And they said, what did they say? They said the same thing you were saying. What do you mean? They said, what do you mean? Well, if somebody's interested in your house, they're not going to go through your house and I like this and I like this and I like this. They're not going to say anything about your house much. So you probably thought they weren't interested in your house, but they really might be just a quiet buyer. Okay? Easy enough? All you got to do is learn this stuff, people. I'm not kidding. It's practice, practice, practice. Program motivation. The next one up there. Program motivation. The when, why, where questions. Well, I see that you got on the market. When are you thinking about selling? As quickly as we can, okay? Why do you want to sell? We bought another house. Oh, I love that. Did you ever see that before? You ever had that one before? We've bought another house. Oh, great. What's that mean, usually? What does that mean, usually? That means we got to sell this one to make that deal happen on the other one.
Seller in a hurry.
Huh?
Seller in a hurry.
Sure. And what do they have to do if they're in a hurry?
They gotta sell that puppy.
Okay, and what usually does that mean in most cases?
You're gonna have to list.
Oh, they're going to have to list, and then after that, they're going to have to... Most FSBOs are overpriced. You know that, right?
Absolutely.
Most FSBOs, you know why? They're going to save the commission, but they tack the commission on top of their asking price. All right? Program motivation. When, why, and where. When you want to do this? When you want it sold by? Why are you selling? Where are you going? All right? And if you get some motivation, we're going to probe the stage of FSBOism. That's all while we're walking around in the house with them. Now, let me give you a little clue about talking to people in the house. This is when we get into the buyers in a couple of weeks. This is another thing. Is it good to walk through the house and lead that person through the house, or have them lead you?
Lead us.
Lead us, okay. Where will they go when they lead us?
Your favorite part of the house?
Their favorite part of the house, probably. What can we do what should we do when we really want to talk to them? Huh? But you've never heard this. Stop in the door.
Stop.
In a door. You walk in the room, I'll stop in the door and we'll talk. You're not going to walk out over top of me.
No.
You're going to stand there and talk. Okay, stop at the door. Stop at the door. Let them show you what's important to you.
Sorry.
Huh?
What do you mean? So you're saying if
All right, here we go. Yeah.
Especially for girls, this is even important for safety.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
what if it's the like open layout type of thing?
Open layout type of thing, you mean doesn't have doors?
Right.
Well, yeah. Well, then we can't stop in the door if it doesn't have doors, right?
Because a lot of times
Creating those scenarios that ain't gonna happen.
But in this situation, like, if it's open layout, suppose there's gonna be a couch, there's gonna be a counter or something. No, but if you just,
Well, I don't sit down.
if you just stop in front of them, kind of, not like aggressively, but then,
Right. Well, that's non-aggressive. And the door's non-aggressive.
yeah.
I'm just standing there. They're not gonna walk out over top of me. Never happens. All right, so we got that part. Okay. So, somebody tell me if you picked up the phone and called a FSBO, what's your goal?
Get in the house.
Get in the house. Get in the house. How you do that?
You asked.
Yeah.
You gotta have dialogue. You gotta have a track to follow. So let's just review those just a little bit. We talked about this before. We'll review this. Ring, ring, and I say hello when you say.
Hi.
Hello.
I mean, hello. Sorry, Tom.
Okay. Hello what?
My name is.
Is that the way we started? I don't think so.
Oh, no. Excuse me, is this so-and-so at 56 Oaks Lane? Is this the owner of 56 Oaks Lane?
Yeah, it is.
Hi, I'm Harry. Hello, I'm Harry.
Is my home still for sale?
Absolutely. He got it. And
Sure.
no, I sold it. No, I sold it. It's under contract.
How much?
Well, are you
No.
buying? Are you buying?
No.
You're not?
See if you can beat him to the hang-up.
Do you know anyone that
No,
is?
see if you can beat him to the hang-up, Barry. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Beat them to him.
Listen to me. Is your home still for sale?
No.
No. Thank you very much. Click. When you get into the lockbox thing, what do you talk about? When you're trying to see, we're pushing a little bit. What do you talk about when you say a guy says to you, "I don't want a lockbox"? What do you say? What can you talk about to get them to get a lockbox when you get to that stage? Yeah.
Maybe talk about how that's okay, but then you're gonna have to just expect to do this and that, like that kind of thing, kind of
What's
back.
this and that?
Me.
know.
You would explain to them that not having a lockbox, they can lose the risk of having someone who's available when you're.
That's the key right there. You're gonna lose potential buyers without a lockbox. That's the key. And then explain that to them, I'm out looking, I'm a realtor and I'm out showing houses. Am I gonna show houses with lockboxes on them or someone that I gotta call in order to come and meet me whenever, blah, blah, blah. In most cases, you're probably gonna lose buyers. You don't wanna lose a good buyer, do you? No, okay. Now, the other thing you can do is let me show you how a lockbox works. Let me show you. Did you ever go on an appointment without a lockbox with you? Just in case. Follow? Just in case. Let me show you how a lockbox works, blah, blah, blah. The code, I know who's in here, I know who's been here, blah, the whole system, how it works. Are you a little more comfortable with a lockbox? What would I say? Are you a little more comfortable with the lockbox? Okay. So that's another reason. What's another reason? There's a lot of people, there's people out there that don't trust real estate agents.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that? All right.
They don't trust anyone, that means.
Yeah, but they don't trust real estate agents. All of you a bunch of crooks. It's real simple. What do you got to do to counter that? What do you have to do to counter? Well, we're not working for agents. I've heard some bad stories about real estate agents, blah, blah, blah. How many of you have got letters from people who were satisfied with your services? Huh? Of course you do. How many of you got a little notebook? How many of you got a little notebook where you can flip page after page after page of satisfied customers? How many of you got something about yourself? Hand out about yourself. All right?
I will get it together.
You gotta get it together. Sure. I don't know you. You come up knocking on my door, want to sell my house. I don't know who you are. You're a real estate agent. I don't trust real estate agents. It's real simple. I don't trust them. Well, if I could what? Show you. It's all a show. A show is always better than a tell. Remember that? If I could show you that other people have been satisfied with my services, would that take care of the problem? Easy enough. So I always have that with you. I told you. Remember last week I told you when we were talking about FISBOs, I said that, back in the old days we kept a spiral notebook laying on the front seat of the car. It was a FISBO book. I went to see a FISBO. You left the FISBO, you wrote in the book, stage 1, call later. All right. So every time you see one, I just put it in the notebook. Had a box in the trunk of the car with a lock box in it with my little brochure to hand out about helping them sell their house and a few other little things. I always had it with me. And when I decided I want to make some money in this business, it only took me a year to make any money in this business, but the second year I was in the business, this was in 1987, I made almost $100,000. But hey, I was prepared then. I had figured it. The big thing I figured out in my first year or so in this business, there were daggone few customers at the racetrack. I spent all my time at the racetrack. There wasn't many customers at the racetrack, and you got to go where they are, and you got to do what they do. All right, FISBOs. So much for FISBOs. Anybody got a question about FISBOs? Okay. Anybody got a question about a FISBO? We did all this last week. Well, let's see if we can remember about a FISBO. See what we can remember about a FISBO. Yes, dear.
Can you please repeat what are the 4 type of buyers?
The 4 types of buyers: serious and in a hurry. All right? That's because they got to buy a house. They get transferred or something. Serious, not in a hurry. Usually because they got to sell a house to buy a house. Lookers, and what was the 4th one? I can't remember.
The people who they're just looking for a
The
deal,
shoppers.
the deal. Like they're not serious, but they just want a
Yeah.
deal. Is it a
Yeah.
deal? Bargain hunters.
Bargain hunters. That's the one. You got it. Got it. Oh, I can't remember. Serious and in a hurry. Serious but not in a hurry. Bargain hunters. Bargain hunters want to save the commission. And then the shoppers. Those that every Sunday you see them at somebody's open house. All right. Take the quiz. Easy quiz. Take the quiz. Our signs are interconnected. What does that mean? Here's what it means. Our company has a lot of signs on houses out there. Very few buyers buy the first house they called in on. They may call in off of a sign 10 miles from here and wind up buying your house. Or they might see your sign and wind up buying that house. The signs are interconnected. You only got one sign that's not interconnected with anybody. Follow? Okie dokie. What else? Number 8, are we on? Probing question. Why do you feel your home did not sell? Who are you talking to?
Expired.
Expired. And that's a probing question. And it's designed to get them to vent. You want to get them to talk about that sorry son of a gun that they listed their house with. So, I can appreciate the fact that your home didn't sell. Why do you feel your home didn't sell? That sorry son of a gun. He didn't do this. He never advertised. The sign fell down. He never put the sign back up. He never had an open house. What's the answer to that?
Oh, I gotta do all of that.
No, what's the answer to that? That's not
That's
How
not
I
me.
work.
what?
It's not how I work.
It's not how it works. She knows all the. I bet you practiced a little bit, didn't you?
I read it.
Didn't you? You read it over. See the difference? See the difference? That's not how it
One
works.
time I went to Inspired and then I knocked on the door and I said, are you still interested in selling? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, she started like bashing the realtor.
Sure.
And then she's like, as a matter of fact, I threw his sign on the sign. He never picked it up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's happened before. Sure.
And
And that's not how I work. You know what? I'll tell you a funny little story about this. What company is it that digs holes in the yard and puts posts in and puts a sign on it?
Nicholas, what?
What company does it? What companies do it?
Telephone?
Huh? I was going to say. A lot of them do, don't they? A lot of them do. A lot of them do. Do you know why they do that?
For advertising.
Huh?
Hard to get it out.
Exposure.
No, it's going to take a while to sell it, so they want to make sure they got the sign in. So
Go anywhere.
it's not so it won't go anywhere. We used to talk about that all the time. We just stick the signs in the yard, and a week or two they're gone. Things sold and we're gone. Brand X or the Caldwell Banker outfit, they dig a hole in your yard and do all this stuff. We used to talk about that kind. Those little kind of things are funny. They're funny, but they're is it planting the seed of doubt?
break the ice.
Every time I'm planting the seed of doubt. Okay. I've had others who felt the same way. That's part of which objection handling technique we learned.
The 3 F's.
Which are?
Feel, felt, found.
Feel, felt, found. Absolutely. But see, some of you didn't have a clue because you weren't studying. You gotta study. You gotta study. I tell you, I hate to come and do this stuff. I hate for him to pay me, and I talk to people who don't come back with what they've learned because it means you're not practicing. It's that damn simple. You're not practicing this stuff. Okay, number 10. No. All right, that's an example. What kind of question is that an example of too?
Commission.
Will you cut your commission? Yeah, that's good, Paul. Will you cut your commission? The answer is no, and what's the technique? Laugh first. Laugh first, slightly.
No.
All right?
Oh.
All right, so we reviewed all of that. That has been done. So where are we? Well, let's see where I am. Anybody want to know any more about, talk any more about FSBOs? Because we're moving on. All the time moving on. We talked about FSBOs enough. We got, how many of you, let me ask you one more question. How many of you feel like you got enough out of the FSBO stuff that I now have the gut gauge up high enough to go knock on the door if you want. Paul can do that? You can do that, I know. You said you could do anything.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right now you gave me dialogue.
But now you got a plan.
Right.
Can we do something for next week? Everyone should have a for sale bomber store that they.
That's good. Only one problem. Next week's the 1 week I have to do.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Okay, so
2
next
weeks.
time
We'll
you-
give them 2 weeks.
Give them 2 weeks.
Give them 2 weeks to come back in here and talk about FSBOs. Or expireds, which we're going to talk about next. Let's talk about expireds for a little bit. How does the expired think? Well, we got a mindset for the FSBO, we got a mindset for the expireds. They want to sell if, most of them.
What's the if?
What is the if? What was the problem that it didn't sell?
At the right price.
At the right price, absolutely, positively. They want to sell, most listings expire because they're overpriced. All right? Now, we want to sell if. And also they've already gone and chosen a real estate agent, right? And a company. Right? And they were happy or not happy with that first real estate company.
I hate them.
They don't like the first real estate company. That's part of their mindset. That's part of their mindset. And in some cases, they don't like realtors, period, anymore. Sorry, son of a gun, bunch of crooks. All right? Because they had a bad experience with a realtor. So one of the big keys when you talk to an expired is that's not how I work. And you got to be able to show me. You can talk to me till the cows come home, or you can show me. Right? So the more you can show, the better off they are. You are. Okay? And the end of it for most expireds is they make a decision. Am I going to list this thing with somebody else, or am I just going to stay here? That's the decision they come down to.
Do you ask them that?
Hmm?
Do you ask them that?
Well, some cases you might.
Have you made a decision? If
You ask them, you still want to sell? I know you had a bad experience, your home didn't sell, do you still want to sell? Oh yeah, we're going to sell. Okay, great.
Can I show you how I can sell it?
Can I show you how I work?
Put money in your pocket?
No, can I show you how I work? Don't say that I'm going to show you how I can sell it, because then you got to sell it. Right? I listed, the second guy I listed said, sorry, son of a gun, that Harry Page guy, he said, I'm going to show you how I'm going to sell your house, and then he didn't sell it.
Most aggressive, nothing.
No, you got it. Part of Harry's problem. You know what part of Harry's problem is?
Harry.
Part of Harry's problem is his mouth engages before his brain does. That's part of
I agree with that.
You agree with that, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Sometimes.
Well, that's the way with all of us. That's the way with all of us. If you know the darn stuff.
Well, Paul's always so damn loud, so I gotta speak up.
No.
I'm the most unaggressive real estate agent.
All right.
I don't know about that.
Let's talk about
See you go in.
an expired. As soon as I find my page
Come
here.
over.
Yes, I give you a shout out.
I know, bro. I reposted it just for that, bro. Little plug it.
Okay.
He's like, I just remember her.
Couple things about this. Let's talk about how you're gonna talk to them. Ring, ring. Drop this set out of her room. Ring, ring.
Chess Ansel.
Okay, is this the homeowner, right? That's where we're going, right? Is this the homeowner? For the house, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, yes it is. My name is so-and-so from such and such, and the next word is key, purpose. Purpose of my call is. Okay.
Are we gonna get copies of this, or?
He's
Should have
putting-
emails.
Okay.
Is that the one from last week?
Yeah.
Okay, it's in your inbox, Trish.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you got it.
If you want to resend it now, so everyone has it first.
Okay. All right, so my name is so-and-so from such and such. The purpose of my call is, I see from the computer that your home's no longer for sale. I see from the computer that your home's no longer for sale. What's the next question? What's the next question?
Are you still interested in selling?
Yeah, do you still want to sell, or are you still interested in selling? Okay. All right, yeah. I'm still interested in selling. Okay? What's the next question?
Can I show you
Just step ahead. What's the next
that damn
question?
mouth before the brain?
Are you
God
interested
damn it.
in selling?
Do you still want to sell? Yeah, we're going to sell it.
Have you decided on a real estate? Are you selling on your own?
No, maybe you can ask
No,
why
not
do
yet.
you think your home didn't sell?
That's the see,
There we go.
Hold on.
Oh, Nicole, honey,
You ever seen goddamn applause right now?
these people look really not too smart. You know
It's
that.
okay, they have the listings, I don't.
That's all right.
Get a comment.
All right, here we go.
Else.
Quick question for you. Why do you feel your home didn't sell?
Lim took them all.
Do you still want to sell? Yeah, sure. We're going to sell it. Well, could I ask you, and remember what I said? I said this first day we're in here. If you want a question answered, what do you say?
Can I ask you a question?
Can I ask you a question? Yeah, sure.
No.
Why do you feel your home didn't sell?
Just-
Why do you feel your home didn't sell? And then if I were you, if I was talking to somebody that wanted to talk, I'd have my little notepad there with me. We're talking on the phone, I'd have my little notepad there with me. Right?
Right.
Because they're going to vent. He said, no. Why did my house not sell? Well, that's sorry. Right?
Goddamn Paul, he's selling glasses.
Why did it not sell? Well, they didn't do this, they didn't do that, they didn't do the other. They didn't advertise. All right? They didn't have open house. They didn't have an open house.
Lim never called.
Open house for realtors? What's an open house
Is
for
there a
realtors?
sister?
Now listen, just listen, Harry. That's part of your problem. So you got your mouth open and your ears closed.
I'm just teasing, making
I know.
fun.
That's all right.
Calm down.
That's all right. Tell me what I just said.
Harry, keep your mouth shut.
No, before that.
That's why you're not learning anything?
Yeah, that's it. That's the answer right there. No, here,
I like to play
here. If they're going to vent, they're going to vent. All right? And they're going to say things like, they didn't advertise. They didn't have an open house. They didn't have a broker's open house. Blah, 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 blah. And if you write it down, quick note. Okay, well, let me review, make sure I understand this. You telling me, and then you go back over. You're telling me they didn't advertise. Now listen to the wording here. They didn't advertise to your satisfaction. They didn't advertise to your satisfaction. That's key. Easy enough. I didn't just say they didn't advertise. I said they didn't advertise to your satisfaction. No. Now how many times did they advertise? I don't know. You don't know.
But it wasn't good enough for them.
Wasn't good enough for them. All right? They never advertised to your satisfaction. And you also said they didn't have an open house. They never had Sunday open houses? Did you want open houses?
Yes, I do.
Okay. But they never held open houses, right? Your agent never held open houses.
Nope, they never answered my phone call.
Okay, did he have an open house for realtors? Did he have an open house for realtors? Did they have an open house for realtors?
No.
No?
No broker open house.
No broker open house, no nothing?
Whatever you call it.
Yeah, okay. Did they explain why they didn't? See, oh, what am I doing? I'm doing nothing but trying to find out little answers to probes as to why they're so darn unhappy. Why they're so unhappy. That's
you
what
can do the things that make
yeah, and then at the end of it, now Harry was one step ahead of us there. Listen up, Harry was one step ahead of us. At the end of the probing as to why their house didn't sell, your next statement is, that's
Not how I work.
That's not how I work. Here is, and then if you say that's not how I work, you better be able to talk a little bit about how you work.
Well, you just take all that information.
You take all that information and you go back and turn it to a positive. All right?
I'm marking on Facebook, Instagram. I do open houses, yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada, yada. He's got it right. That's not how I work. Here's how I work. You say your house wasn't advertised to your satisfaction. Whereas here's how we advertise, blah, blah, blah. And we advertise on the internet, blah, 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 and so forth. All you got to do is take those negatives, and turn them into positives. And if you get them talking to you some, then what's the next thing you do?
Schedule an appointment.
Try to get in the house, absolutely. Try to get in the house. And the question is, when can I see your house? All right, now you're going to get hit with this question. We haven't talked about this at all, but you're going to get hit with this question. It wasn't expired. You want to see my house? Why didn't you show my house when it was listed?
Because I
It
was
was
busy.
overpriced. No, I'm only kidding. I was just kidding.
Because I was busy showing my, selling my listings.
I don't know about that.
Because you're a
I didn't
realtor,
see it on
they
the
didn't
market.
market it well enough. I didn't see it.
You're on the right track. I'll give you the dialogue. You're on the right track. I never saw it because in order to sell a house once, your agent has to sell it twice.
Wait, say that one more time.
In order to sell a house once, we have to sell it twice.
I don't get that.
Your agent has to sell it to other realtors, and they in turn have to sell it to a buyer. And your agent didn't do the things he needed to do to sell it to me. That's why I never saw it.
Throw it back on him. Damn, that guy's getting the pile driver.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. You think about it. It's so.
I'm just saying, we
no, they
know
won't.
all the things that they
I
didn't
know,
do to
but they won't. If they want to sell, remember the first question was, you still want to sell? First question was, you still want to sell? And they said they did. Well, okay, let's see if we can. Yes, sir. Let's talk the real stuff here. Talk the real stuff. All right. So what was the question? What was the question?
Why didn't you sell my house?
Why didn't you show my house when it was listed? And the answer is,
In order to sell your house once, you have to sell it
Your
twice.
agent have to
you
sell
have to
it
sell it
twice.
twice.
He never sold it to me.
First of all, you got to sell it to the other agents, then they got to sell it to the buyers. Your former agent did nothing to sell it to me. Okay? Easy enough? Easy enough?
But what if the price is just too high and
Hey, we talked about this last week. Remember we talked last week about a windshield appraisal. You know what a windshield appraisal is, do you?
I drive by.
Before I ever talk to them, I'm going to drive by and see whether this thing is worth spending my time on. Right?
You don't have to work with everyone.
You don't work with all of them. God no. Fillsbury's worked with about all of them, or try to. Expireds, no, God, this thing's $100,000 overpriced. I don't want to try to fool with this. And it's never had a price reduction. Okay? Easy enough? Expireds. All right. What else we got to talk about it? All right. When you say that's not how I work, let me tell you how I work. Now, what do you have to have? What do you have to have?
The information is showing how you work.
Absolutely. And you got to have, what I'm trying to get to say, what you got to have is have that thing canned. That's not how I work. Here's how I work, or how you want to talk about the company, you can talk about here's how we work.
See, Lou's good at that. I had a listing appointment.
Yeah?
And it was for about a close to $1 million listing.
Whew.
And I was really doing well. And then I got to the end of the page. I completely went blank.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was a mute. That made it so awkward.
But you know what?
And then I looked at Lou because I knew he would come through in the clutch.
Sure.
So
I wasn't gonna bail him out though. I was just like,
Let
I'll
him-
leave the uncomfortable silence
Yeah.
until he figures out something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then he's like, just go ahead and
Absolutely. Absolutely. But guess what? Guess what? All right.
But the guy liked me so much that I think it blew right over his head.
I think so.
Did you list it?
Not yet.
You get it today. You better get it today.
It's not his, it's his mother's.
Start scheduling showings already.
Okay.
Tell me I got buyers.
All right.
Tell me you have buyers. Let's just start doing that.
Absolutely. I work with a lot of buyers. Blah, blah, blah. So here's the key to this little thing that we just went over. The key is you got to know the answers. You know how they think. You got to know the answers to what you're going to give them back. If I say that's not how I work, what are they going to say?
How the hell do you work?
How do you work? Absolutely. And then this is how I work. Blah, 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 right? So you figure it out. So you leave here and you sit down somewhere and you look at this stuff and review a little bit today and you say, okay, I got to come up with my dialogues for answering these questions. Is that good? Does that make sense to you?
so all this is over the phone.
Could be.
Or in person.
Well, it could be. Knock on the door. Knock on the door. Doesn't matter. The only thing's different is the dialogue. Dialogue's a little different over the phone than it is knocking on the door.
Our dialogue is on page 5 of the handout that I sent you guys.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Page 5. Session 5. Page 6. Page 15. 13. Page 13 of session 5. What we just talked about is on page 13.
That she watched.
Yeah, you probably
Okay.
got that in mind.
All right. What else? What else? What else? What else? We're gonna see how good you are here in just a minute. Let me find the other page here. All right. When you say, why do you feel your home didn't sell? When you say to an expired, why do you feel your home didn't sell? Okay. Let's start with a whole bunch of marketing things, and I'm going to give them to you one at a time. What's the first thing we're going to talk about? It's for sale sign. All right. Did your former agent have a sign on the property all the time? Yeah. Well, yeah, he had the sign there. It was always clearly visible for sale sign. Was it always a clearly visible for sale sign? Did he ever move the sign? Any of that kind of stuff. You know one thing about my former company, and I'll tell you honestly, the guy that Lou wants to be like, you know, right? My former boss. My former boss.
There's always something to take away from
You could use 300 offices. Really.
That'd be all right.
Yeah, it'd be great. When he did his first office, it was in his house, 2 rooms in his house, and he had about 150-foot deep lot behind the house. He had 5 signs made, 5 different for sales realtor signs made, and everybody that came there, he asked him a question about those 5 signs, and you know what he said? Which one can you read the best from here? Which one can you read the best from here? And that company's yellow signs with black lettering, just like a school bus. You want to see a school bus, or you want to see Weichert signs? So it's as plain as it can be. I mean, simple block writing, black on yellow. And you know why? Because that's the one you can see the best. That's the one you can see the best. So if you put anybody else's sign down here and you put a Weichert sign 100 yards down the street, you're probably going to see Weichert's before you see that one. But that's just an example of how much, I mean, I don't want to talk much about them, but that's just an example of the kind of planning that went into this thing. Okay, when you talk about advertising, what was the question? When you quiz them about advertising, what was the question?
So it wasn't up to your, not liking,
What type of advertising did they do for you with you?
so you
Did
were
they have a
satisfied.
plan? Did they show you a plan of advertising?
No, you weren't
Can you
satisfied.
ask
It
us
wasn't
the
to your
question
satisfaction.
again?
Huh?
Ask the question again.
Advertise
whether or not
for your what question are you going to ask them about advertising?
It wasn't
What
up to
are
your
they
sat-
looking
Lim
for,
said
huh?
up to your satisfaction.
Hey, whoa!
Yeah, Lim said it. That's what I was trying to say. I just couldn't think of the word. She said it for me.
Was it advertised to your satisfaction? Not how much did they advertise, they didn't advertise, blah, blah, blah. Was it advertised to your satisfaction? And the answer is 99% of the time, no. You know why I wouldn't advertise to your satisfaction? Because it didn't sell. Because it didn't sell. All right? All right, the third one on this little list, the MLS. Multiple listing service. Well, while your home was listed with brand X, did they ever change the picture on the listing? Did they ever change anything about the listing? I know they didn't change the price. Did they ever change anything about the listing?
No.
I noticed that your picture here was taken when it was snowing and it's April now, so did they update the picture or anything like that? That's another thing you can talk about. No. And see, all the things we talk about are negative. We want negative answers. What's the next one? Do they hold open houses on a regular basis? Number 4, this list is open houses. Do they hold open houses on a regular basis? What's that mean? Nothing.
Every week.
Nothing. Means nothing. What's a regular basis? Every 2 weeks? Every month? One time? Whatever.
Whatever they think.
Yeah, well, they had an open house or 2 and the thing didn't sell. So were they happy with the open houses? No. They're not happy with anything because the daggone thing didn't sell, okay? All right. This next one's important. Direct promotion. Direct promotion. What's that? They're going to say, did they do any direct promoting of your house? What's that mean? Same thing y'all are saying. What's that mean? Did they call the neighborhood? Did they let people in the neighborhood know your house is for sale, for example? All right, direct promote. All right. Next thing, let's talk about showings. Did it get shown? Did your house get shown? Well, it didn't get shown much. Well, so their marketing plan didn't produce enough showings for your house. Is that right? Their marketing plan didn't produce enough showings for your house. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so they're not satisfied with that. Okay, next little one. Do you have any offers? While your home was listed with brand X, did you have any offers? So you've had no offers, is that what you're telling me? So their marketing plan didn't even bring you, not only didn't bring you customers, but the few customers they brought you didn't bring you an offer, is that right?
Have very low offer sales.
Huh?
Low
They
ball
said they
offers.
have very
You had a few
low-
lowball offers? Okay, could have been because of the marketing plan. I don't know. See, I don't want to get in there now, well, the thing's overpriced, blah, blah, blah. We don't want to talk about any of that stuff now. All we're trying to do, all this stuff comes about once we get the listing. Right now, all we're trying to do is get in there. All right, now this is a big one. Last one, agent feedback. And the question is, did your agent follow up on each potential buyer that saw your home?
No.
No. And a lot of times they don't. And especially as the listing gets a little later in the listing. 4th month, I'm starting to think about let this thing expire. I don't want to talk to this guy.
That's actually what I'm going to do today on my listing is follow up with all I showed in the past few days to get feedback.
Okay. All right, then you got a plan right there. It's right there.
Joe G.
So what you're trying to do, and I would do this, you know, I was big on drawing things. I remember last week I drew a triangle, marketing triangle for FSBO. You can do exactly the same thing with this, a marketing triangle for this. Just draw your triangle and start with the bottom. Start at the bottom with a for sale sign. Draw your triangle and start at the bottom with a for sale sign and work all the way up to offers and feedbacks. And as you talk to them, see, you know, you sit there in front of them, well, let's just look at that marketing plan, and you draw a triangle. And then you pop the first one in there, and you talk about that, just like we just did. And you
What's
took
the 3 sides?
Huh?
What's the 3 sides of the triangle for them?
Just a triangle, just 3 equilateral triangles. Try that one. You didn't remember that, did you?
Equilateral.
You didn't remember the triangle, did you? Last week we did a triangle for FSBOs. This week we'll put it up here. Let's take a look at the marketing plan. All right? And it starts with the for sale sign.
Oh, yeah.
And then we just now went through what to talk about the sign, right? Let's look at the advertising. Just draw it. What's the next thing say? Give them to me. Somebody took them down. Give them to me. What's the next thing? God, y'all are slow. Something like that, wasn't it? All right. And then there was something about promotion, right? And what was the next one? Open houses. Something about open houses, right? What was the next one?
Feedback.
Advertising? No, I didn't.
Open houses. We talked about the
Follow-ups.
MLS. And then we talked about the
Feedback.
feedback. Offers and feedback, yeah. Offers, feedback. Okay. And this is your former agent. Agent X. Alright, this is us. Alright, and you go through each one of them and you say, well, didn't look like he did that, doesn't look like he did that, doesn't look like he did that, doesn't look like he did that, or that, or that, or that. You don't see any negatives over on the other side, do you? Because that's not how I work. Got a plan now?
What is number 1?
Huh? Which one?
Number 1. Offers and feedback.
The top 2 offers and feedback. Okay, so much for that. All right, now, This is what we're gonna do. Gonna let you all do something today besides me. Okay. Take this little handout. Okay. There you go, just pass them
You
around.
eat that whole bag.
Pass them around.
No, right?
Me and you.
Pass them
I
around.
share it with him. Seriously?
Look, you're recording.
My phone is recording. You got something on your lip, bro.
It's his lunch.
Go like this.
All right, let's not.
Good looks.
No problem.
Let's not.
What do you need?
You got one? He doesn't
Sam.
have one.
Thank you, sir.
No, he said he was good.
There you go, there's one. There's one, there's one. Who you got? Everybody got one? Everybody got one? Everybody got it?
gave Will like 20.
Everybody got it?
Give me one.
All right. You notice it says below are the 4 OHTs. What's an OHT? Technique. Below are the 4 OHTs we've learned. 5-step approach, positive, negative, feel, felt, found, and the dilemma. We have learned those, right? We've been over them about 15 times, so we should learn those. All right? Okay. And then it says, listed below are some objections that you may hear from possible sellers. Use one of the techniques above to handle each of the objections below. Here we go. Who's your partner? Get a partner. You got a partner? You got a partner? You got a partner? We got,
We need you to participate.
well, where's the 8th one? Just wherever the 8th one is. When she comes back. All right, this is what I want you to do. I want you to pair up. I want you to pair up. Who's your partner? You two gonna partner?
Sure.
You two gonna partner?
Husband and wife.
Take number 3. Take number 3.
And then you'd be like,
Just take number 3. You two partner up.
Okay.
Okay. Take
Yeah.
number 5.
Right next to each
What are
other.
we talking about? The
No, the list of things down here.
right here.
We're gonna go through the whole thing?
No, we're just gonna give you one.
Oh.
Who's you two partnering again?
Sure.
You two partnering
Whatever, it
again?
doesn't
Three of
matter.
us.
Okay.
If you want, I'll see. Pair. Okay, we have one last. Okay, I see.
Yeah, we're all right. We're
If
getting
you
it.
want your partner with you,
Number 8.
Three of us.
No, they don't need to partner with me. I'd kill them. Number 8.
Number 8?
Love that.
Yeah. Number 8.
Savage.
All right,
Which
number
one?
8.
Number 8.
Number 3.
Number 8, can't.
Yeah. All
For
right.
your commission.
And who's the last one? And the last one was
Accessory?
7.
Yeah.
Hey, on the end, 7. And whoever's with you, right?
oh, I was with them. The
We
three
were
of
the
us.
last 3.
No, we don't do it
Okay.
threes. We do it in pairs.
Patricia's here, she's just making a phone
Yeah.
call. She'll be right
You
back.
do it with Patricia. You do number 7. Now, which one are you doing?
Number 8, you said?
I'm just asking. I don't know. Which one?
So we're doing it together?
Which one? 3. 3? Which one?
He cut you off.
5.
5. Okay. Come back in here in 15 minutes and do it right.
oh, we're leaving.
Let's go outside.
Come back in 15 minutes.
You want us to do?
What are we doing then?
We're going to role play it in 15 minutes. And what does it say there? It says use one of the or more of the techniques above. Okay? Use the techniques above. One of them.
Just our whole family's challenging each other. So there's like a bunch of us on this. We're already going walking this morning, like 7 miles.
7 miles.
I mean, that's this morning. We went yesterday. We went 7 miles. This morning we're running again.
Really?
Yeah.
Grab a what? My car. For what? Did you just say it's in my pocket? He's like, bro, I'll give you $1 if it's in my pocket. I can't really.
What would be the reason that you don't want to?
somewhere and sit down so you can come back and speak. When? I'll be on the commission.
Lights,
Alright, we're good now.
camera, action.
So tell me, do you have a buyer for my house?
I feel, no.
Okay, rewind. Let's try this again.
Just want to get in front of people, you know?
So tell me, do you have a buyer for my house?
I really, I'm getting nervous. I'm sorry.
Don't be.
Hey, look, here's the one that's the most experienced one in here.
Okay, yeah.
And she's nervous. Why are you nervous?
I don't
Stop the
know.
cushion.
Oh,
Because you're sitting there, Tom.
Well, it's
Take
so
a deep
different when you do it in
breath.
front of people, you know?
Take a
It's
deep
always
breath.
the same way.
Take a
Come
deep
on, Lynn.
breath and think.
You got
Okay.
this.
All right.
Okay.
So do you have a buyer for my house?
I really feel how you feel. No.
Understand.
I understand how you feel, but I do work with many qualified buyers for your property. And I don't know if you know, but 90% of the real estate market is controlled by real estate agents. And of course, I can find a buyer.
Okay.
Right. Now, what technique did she try to use?
She did, I don't know the names of them because I was in the.
What technique did she try to use?
One.
Fishing?
One. 5-step approach.
No. What's the first thing?
Positive and negative, my bad.
No. What's the first thing she said?
She engaged, she's compassion.
First thing she said, she tried to cushion it with, I can understand how you feel.
Right.
I just said, I said the 5-step.
That's
No.
not that's not the only one that
Feel
starts
felt
with
found. Feel felt found is the one she was trying to use. Listen, feel felt found is the one she was trying to use. So if she was trying to use the feel felt found one, y'all ready to flip it? Gonna do the same thing?
Yeah, we kind of practice the same thing, the same approach.
All right, turn it around, let's see if you can do it.
Okay. So tell me, do you have a buyer for my property?
You know, I'm really, really glad you asked that question. Let me assure you, I work with many qualified buyers. Something else to think about is that's a concern that other people have as well. So what I found is that over 95% of the market is currently controlled by real estate agents. So what that means is 95% of the sellers, same thing goes. It's controlled by real estate agents, so that puts us in a great position to be able to get your house sold.
Wow.
Very good.
She's good.
Hey, sit down. Where was the boss? He wasn't in here. Go next. Where was the boss? He wasn't in here.
Thank you.
Because that was about as good as you can do it. Which one did y'all have?
The lockbox.
We got lockbox.
I don't want a lockbox.
Hi guys, I'm Sam. Nice to meet you guys.
Next time.
All right, go.
Sam, you're on camera.
Hi camera.
Hello, Sam. How you doing today?
I am well.
Good. So we'd like to put a lockbox on your property to sell it.
We don't want to use a lockbox.
All right. I can appreciate how you feel. What is the issue with having a lockbox?
It's really tacky. I have a beautiful pink home, and the lockbox is so ugly and it just sticks out. And I don't want my house to lose sex appeal.
No, I can understand that it's, you feel it's tacky. What if we were to put the lockbox in the back door maybe, so that nobody could see it?
But the back door is also pink.
Yeah, but nobody's really gonna, go to the back of the property. So we could, put it there, or we could put it somewhere, that's not, in sight of people seeing it. Maybe we could put it in the bushes somewhere, something to help ease you.
Awesome. Thank you for understanding how important it is that my house is pink, and I really love my house. Thank you for not, suggesting that we ruin the sex appeal.
Okay, listen. What should he have done? What
You should have.
No problem. You don't have to have a lockbox. Is that what you're talking
That
about?
could be, yeah, but what should he have done? This pink stuff is BS. What
Right.
should he have done?
Why is it important to have a lockbox? on
Why
the
do you
property?
feel that you don't want a lockbox? Well, I could appreciate the fact that your house is pink, blah, 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 but I've usually found that the houses that sell quickly are the ones that have lockboxes, right? Because when you explain why agents take buyers out to see houses they can get into, blah, blah, blah. See, so what you got run into there was BS with the pink house and all that. Hell, he knows that. But see, you got to just go around that stuff. Okay, flip it.
Okay. Hi. Hello.
How are you?
Good.
So, we had a great conversation earlier. So the next step we would want to do is we go forward, put a lockbox on your property.
I don't want a lockbox on my property.
Oh, is there any specific reason behind that, or?
Yeah, I just don't want other people being able to have access to my house without me really knowing. I don't know who's going to be in there.
I completely understand where you're coming from. I mean, I personally have 2 homes, and I definitely do not want a lockbox being there, someone randomly accessing it, but just want you to know more about our lockboxes. I understand there's a lot out there. The one that we do use is completely accessible by only people that we allow. So we completely monitor it the whole time. So you never have to be worried about anyone random just walking up using a lockbox. And every time someone uses it, we know who's using it, when they used it, when they put the key back. So definitely we make sure that no one unattended will be in your house, and we make sure a realtor is doing it as well.
Okay.
Would that make you feel a little more comfortable, or?
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Why was it very good? Only thing you didn't say was, let me show you how the lockbox works. But why was it very good?
You give
The
examples.
facts.
He took all the negatives out of it right away, didn't he? He took all the negatives out of it. You don't want it because of this, and this. Right? And he took the negatives out of it and got him to agree with him. That was good.
Thank you.
Good. Next paragraph. Next paragraph. All
Do
right.
you want me to do that?
Supposedly they save the best for last. That's what they say, but.
We shall see.
You don't got your wig this week. You're in trouble, bro.
The
wig?
It'll be back next time.
Which one did
He
you
actually
guys
got his hair combed today.
It's on a newspaper.
Newspaper.
Newspaper advertising?
Oh, yeah.
So, what do you want to be first? I'll be the realtor.
Okay.
All right. So I understand you want a weekly advertising in the property. However,
Hey, guys. We can't hear.
However, there is more than weekly newspaper advertising. We do a lot of internet advertising, which is something that nowadays in this internet world, buyers go into the computer just to see what's out there, and it's easier for them to have access to a wide range of properties for sale, and we focus on that. We don't only just throw it out there, but we also advertise it and targeting the area of people that will be interested in a property like yours.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
Yeah, so let me show you.
All right. Okay, well, see, you just need to smooth it out a little bit. So I got to take out the O's and the R's.
Smooth it out like you're
Right.
here today.
Smooth it out. Smooth it out. We don't, we don't want newspaper advertising. I can appreciate the fact that you don't want newspaper advertising. If I could show you another way that you get advertising that's more effective than newspaper advertising, would you be interested in taking a look at that?
See, that sounds great. Yeah.
See?
That's good.
Just smooth it out. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Are you smooth now? Turn it around. Are you smooth?
All right.
Okay.
I sure.
So,
Okay.
should I ask first or should
Either way you want.
Okay, we went weekly advertising and for the property. My last realtor just did it once in a blue move, and I wasn't satisfied with it.
Oh, weekly advertising is absolutely a great idea. A lot of people still look at the paper, and it's great to have your property advertised. That's something we'll absolutely do. But in addition to newspaper advertising, we have an awesome plan for multimedia marketing. It's part of the reason that I went to Culture Estate. They have they really focus on the advertising because nowadays you want to make sure that your house is marketed out there on social media. There's we have a plan put together that doesn't just target people that we're friends with on Facebook. It actually targets people in that demographic. So for your house, for example, we'll target people that we know are coming in from Bayonne, the boroughs. So we'll do some outbound marketing to them specifically for your house. But I would love to come and show you exactly what I'm referring to. If we could schedule an appointment, that would be great. I could show it to you.
So you mean to tell me that you do more than Realtor.com, Zillow.com, and all this
I don't want to speak on behalf of Realtor.com and Zillow because they're great sites, but this is something different that we're going outbound in solicitation. So it's a specific plan tailored to your house.
Yeah, I said that because the previous realtor had it on those websites, and
Oh, yours will absolutely be out on those websites too, but that's why we don't want to just rely on one source. We do a whole multimedia source where we're going to go, you'll be out there on Zillow, you'll be out there on Trulia, but you'll also be out there targeted to buyers that are coming in from other areas.
Like New York City?
New York City, absolutely.
I'm just saying that because I actually came across that. It's like,
You're tough on me, aren't you?
They
Didn't you go like this?
they asked me, will you advertise to get buyers from New York? And I was like, and I said, I'm not sure, but I could. And then I lost the listing because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, we absolutely will go out there and target those audiences because a lot of buyers coming into our specific area are coming from the boroughs. They're coming from Bayonne, Jersey City, and then they're coming from the boroughs, Brooklyn, Staten Island, the Bronx. So we want to make sure that we get the information out there about your house specific because there's competition out there. So we want to make sure that we tailor it just to your home.
Thank you.
Okay. That was good. That was good. Hers was good. One more thing. If somebody really beats you up over advertising, you might try this. You say you want it heavily advertised, is that correct?
Yes.
Would you rather sell it?
Yes.
If I could show you how we have other ways that sell houses besides advertising, could we talk about that? You'd rather sell it than just advertise it, wouldn't you?
That's good.
Right. Thank you.
Sligger and slick.
You certainly weren't that tough to me out there.
They weren't bad. All right, Harry, see if you
It
can
seemed like it was no big deal out there.
Hey, Steph,
No, that's good.
see if he can keep his brain ahead of his mouth.
I'll just speak a little slow.
Good, Harry, you're up.
Brain ahead of your mouth. Then after we finish, we got one more thing and we're out of here. Come on, Harry. Somebody else beat you to the front door.
The most athletic real estate.
I'll set it off. Notice we didn't bring any papers up. Thank you very much.
Oh.
Notice the
That's
eye
good.
contact. Okay. So I want you guys to take lessons here.
That's good.
Steph, you need a step ladder?
Game on. So I'm going to start off as seller, okay, and you'll be the agent, and then you can reverse it.
Okay.
Excuse me, Stephanie, would you cut your commission?
I'm sorry, can you ask me that again?
Would you cut your commission?
No.
I thought I'd ask you anyway.
Okay. No, I asked you. Hey, Harry, what would you...
No, you were supposed to go further.
Supposed to go further.
Okay.
No.
Remember, we went over.
Why not?
a few
Let's say
examples.
why not. Well, you cut your
Oh,
commission
okay.
and you laughed and said no, and he
You're
said why
supposed to go
not.
into your spiel.
Okay, sorry.
So let's start over.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I already did that.
Take a deep breath. Hey! Take a deep breath. Come on. Take it. It feels good. Trust me.
Okay.
All right, ready? Would you cut your commission?
No.
No. All right. Well, I thought I'd ask everybody.
I just,
Why would you cut your commission?
well, I wouldn't cut my commission. Would you, go hire, if you had, heart surgery, would you go hire any surgeon for your procedure?
No.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, but you do.
Yeah, you.
I'm sorry, I'm not, go.
Let me ask you a quick question. If you were going to have heart surgery,
Okay.
what's the first thing you'd do? Would you go out there and try to find the cheapest surgeon you could
Right,
find?
we went over that. Come on,
That's
Steph.
the dialogue.
I have
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
the dialogue. This takes practice, girl.
All right, let's try one more time. Is that all right?
You can try one more time. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Harry.
Because you got to get this down. Let it
Got you.
flow.
I got you.
You know it.
Stretch?
Would you, Stephanie, would you cut your commission?
No.
Well, I thought I'd ask you anyway.
Let me ask you something. Would you go hire the cheapest surgeon you can find if you had heart surgery procedure?
Wow, that's a pretty good question. No, I wouldn't. I would try to find the best, most qualified. And if it costs a lot, it is what it is. I want the best service.
Right, so that's the kind of service I'm trying to offer to you.
Okay,
I wouldn't take a commission cut.
I understand. Thank you.
Real quick. Good. Before you clap. Try it again, but this time, pause. So you
Pause
Harry,
Okay,
may I ask you a question?
okay.
And pause. And let him respond. And then you say, if you were having heart surgery, would you go for the cheapest surgeon? Pause. Don't forget to pause. Don't just ramble. Don't just get it out of your mouth and get it over it. Try again.
Pause.
Stephanie, will you cut your commission?
No.
Oh, I thought I'd ask you anyway.
Harry, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
If you were to have heart surgery, would you hire the cheapest surgeon?
No, I wouldn't.
That's it.
Better? Okay, much better. Before it seemed like you were just trying to get,
Yes,
I was
it's
trying to
time.
remember it.
you
Got
were
it.
just trying to get everything out. But you kind of want to have a two-way conversation where he's engaged, not just you.
Okay.
It's better. Go ahead.
Harry, would you take a commission cut?
No.
Not too much. Huh? Not too much.
Well, I've done so many times, I'm awkward a little bit. No.
No, you're example.
I know. I'm
Okay,
in the middle
okay.
of going over.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No.
Harry, would you take a commission cut?
No. Can I show you an example of how our commission works, Stephanie?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you want me to take my commission, right? Now, 2.5 is going to a buyer's agent, 2.5 going to a seller's agent, right? Now that's half the commission. Now when I get my commission check, half is going to the agency, half is going to me. I also have bills, I have a daughter in private school, a car, I have a house. All these things I gotta pay. So you want me to cut this?
What
to
was
sell
your
your
part of
house?
this?
Want me to be a part of this to sell your house?
I don't know what to say to that. No.
No, that's awesome because
Say yes.
it makes the seller uncomfortable. and you're
That's
not
right.
making it uncomfortable.
That's right.
I can
It's
sign
got to
for
smooth it out. It's got to smooth it out. That's right.
Okay,
It
but
makes
again,
them
that doesn't work,
uncomfortable.
Harry, I'll knock him out.
Hey,
That was great.
all right, we got one more thing to do today.
Steph, we're gonna have a one-on-one after
We
this.
got one more thing to do today.
Can't wait to see
And
that.
listen up. After we do one more thing
great.
today, after we do one more thing today, I'm not going to be here next week. I got to go back to the hills. Back to the hills. of
Gonna milk
Virginia.
those cows.
No, man, I finished milking cows long ago. I was milking cows when I was 7 years old. All right, let's do this. All right. I don't care if it's a FSBO or an expired, whichever one it is. At some point, you're going to have to talk price. At some point, you're going to have to talk the price. So, what's my house worth?
What the market tells us.
Well, you're the expert.
Are we at their house or are we?
Yeah, you can be
Phone call
face
right
to
now?
face. We'll make it
Face to
face to
face?
face. Yeah.
Well,
What's my house worth?
I would have to do some extent, I schedule, like I have one today. I'll schedule an appointment and then I would want to get all the facts, so find out about their house.
What was the key word? You didn't use it.
What the market says.
What was the key word? I'll have to go and do my
Research, that's what I
all
would say,
right.
yeah.
All right, that's okay. But you got to have a way to talk with a seller about price. And you really got to make it where you can fit the thing in the price range. How many of you, if somebody said your house will, what do you think my house will sell for? How many of you have popped out and said a number?
I don't.
specific number. How many of you have done that?
Not unless I've already done my research and I walked in.
Yeah, but I don't care how much damn research you've done. How much will my house sell for? What will my house sell for? The answer is you can't tell them, right? What can you tell them? You can tell them a range. You can tell them it should sell somewhere between 275, maybe as low as 250, somewhere in that range. Okay. And then where does that lead you? It gives you a little playroom, doesn't it? So don't give them a price, you give them a range, all right? And then when you get around to asking for the listing price, you can work off of both ends of the range. What do you want to do? You want to start at the top of the range, or you want to sell it quickly so you can start at the bottom of the range? What you want to do? Who's controlling the conversation?
You are.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because if I just say your house will sell for $265, they're going to say, well, the last guy couldn't sell it for that, blah, 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 blah. And he's going to be in control of the conversation. So I'm going to give you some little dialogue words to use to talk about price and some questions to ask. And you can write them down. You should write them down because you should know them. All right, and this is off of page 20 of that last thing you put in the computer, okay? When discussing price with a seller of an expired listing, it's important to ask questions concerning the knowledge, the status of the current real estate market.
I wrote it.
Some questions the agent should be asking are, okay, question number one.
Need a pen.
Question number one. Question number one.
That's with my pen.
And now he's blaming others.
Oh yeah, that's all right.
I have another one here.
Question number one.
I might have stolen it. I steal it. I do. Pens.
Sticky fingers.
Question number one. Do you feel we're in a rising or falling market? Do you feel we're in a rising or falling market? Do you feel we're in a rising or falling market? What are we in right now?
Falling.
Huh? Rising. Prices are going back up. Okay? Question number two. How many houses are on the market in your area now that are comparable to yours? How many houses are on the market in your area now that are comparable to yours? Believe me, a lot of them know. They know. Because you're getting around to, well, we're going to compare houses, compare prices, and so forth. Okay. Question number three. You feel there's anything about your home that would attract a unique buyer? You feel there's anything about your home that would attract a unique buyer? In other words, is anything really special here?
You and I,
You and I, Q, unique. All right, next one. How do some of the other homes currently for sale in the area compare to yours? Do they know that?
how does what?
How do some of the homes for sale in the area compare to yours? Do they know that?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
The fourth question, how do some of the other homes currently for sale in the area compare to yours? Okay. Well, theirs is expired, so they probably know the answer to some. So the answer to some of that. Question number 5. What was the buyer feedback concerning your home that you got from your former agent? What was the buyer feedback concerning your home that you got from your former agent? Well, everybody said the rooms were too small. You know, all of you know how to increase the size of rooms in a house that's for sale, don't you? Everybody
Just
know that?
furniture.
Huh? No. Everybody know that?
Right angle lens.
No. Reduce the price.
Oh yeah.
Reduce the price. Every time you reduce the price, the rooms get bigger.
Okay. Price per square foot.
All right. Number 6. Do you feel your home was fairly priced? Somewhere in there you got to get into price. Do you feel your home was fairly priced? Okay. And finally, what did your former agent do or not do to get your home sold? What did your former agent do or not do to get your home sold? These are all questions that you can work into a dialogue.
Excuse me, what was number 7 again?
Number 7 was, what could your former agent have done that he did or did not do to get your house sold? Yeah, I worded it a little bit wrong. What could your former agent have done that he or she did not do to get your home sold? Okay. All right? These are all questions you can work in a dialogue. Now, you know, today, the little role play we did today, I noticed that when you went upstairs and you worked, you tried to tie it into, just like we said, do it. Those 4 objection handling techniques. And most of you came back and you had a little bit of the right stuff in there, see? Now, if I had said, don't work on any techniques, don't do anything, just go up there and answer a question, you come back down here, it would have been a total disaster. It would have been a total
I
disaster.
have a question.
Yes, sir.
Because me and Harry were trying to figure out.
Harry and I.
Harry and I. Sorry. I always speak
Get it together
backwards.
today.
I speak backwards.
You got a college degree.
I really
too.
do speak backwards a lot. I really do. 7 a.m. Okay, so we were trying to figure out what type of objective handling technique it was, but we couldn't figure
For which
out.
one?
For
The
what
one we
did.
did, the
We did with
examples
the
we gave you, what would they
examples.
fall under?
Huh?
What would it be categorized under what we did?
You can use feel, felt, found
Okay.
for that one. I've had others who, you know,
No, but what we said, what were they? What
Well,
kind
you
of
said
example?
he used the dollar bill example.
Right.
What would that fall under?
You can use it under feel, felt, found.
Okay, and what
Okay.
about her with the surgeon?
The surgeon?
Positive, negative approach?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we were just curious.
Yeah.
We thought.
All I'm trying to do with those, I don't ever expect you to get them, you know, just boom, boom, boom.
And don't get caught up on that. It doesn't matter as long as it's right.
Right. You don't need to get caught up on the technique. All I do with the techniques is just try to get you to think.
Yeah.
To think.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
The other one, so I have it correct, because we were actually going to do 3 examples, but everyone did 2. The other one we were going to use was, would you take a 17% pay cut at your job?
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Can I ask you a question? Yeah. If you went to work tomorrow and your boss asked you to take a 17% pay cut, would you be happy with that?
That's the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, no, of course not. Well, what you're doing is you're asking the real estate agencies to take a 17% pay cut as soon as you list your house for 5%.
But yet you want the
But
best services.
do you think they'd rather have a full commission or a 17% pay cut? Which one do you think they want to have? Turn it right around on them. All right, let me ask you this question. Have you learned anything today? That's the key. That's the key, because I come over here and spend my Mondays here, and I love it. I'm having fun with you people. I tell you that. And are you learning anything? That's all that really matters.
Well, I think what's more important is not even just learning, having fun doing it, because I think you retain it better.
Well, sure. It's you know, like I said, I'm an old football coach. You know, we did things like when I was a real successful high school football coach. Do you know that one day that we were practicing one play that we wanted to run and we couldn't run it right? And we were supposed to be splitting up into offensive groups and then defensive groups and so forth. Well, an hour and 15 minutes later, we were still running that one play.
I'm surprised you guys
Over.
you guys didn't make them do sprints.
Oh no, that's punishment. You don't punish them.
Man, that's how our coaches
You
were.
don't punish them. If I'm trying to learn one play, if I'm trying to teach you one play, is running sprints going to make you learn that play?
No, I totally agree with you,
No.
Tom.
Over and over and over and over.
That's the typical mentality of someone that's
Oh, sure.
someone not doing right.
Sure, that's punishment. You don't need to punish
I
people.
agree.
I mean, my feeling about this stuff is, hey, you either want to learn it or you don't. If you don't, you won't be around long. It's that simple. If you do, then you're going to get better at it, I'll tell you one thing that's great about it. You know what I love about this business? My first job, at the end of the month, I got an envelope, had a check in it. That was all I was worth. Right? In this business, hey, nobody knows what you're worth. And you may start off not making much money. I mean, a lot of people do. But I tell you what, in 1980, 1989. I mean, here I was a country boy from down south. Like I said, I couldn't even speak this northern language y'all spoke up here. And I made $100,000. I've never seen $100,000 in my life.
Wow.
You know, I thought, my God, you can make that much money?
That's not uncommon.
No, heck no. $100,000 in this business for successful people.
Thank you.
$100,000 a year for people who are successful in this business is not uncommon at all now. Okay, I can't be here next week. I gotta go.
Oh, man.
I gotta go to Virginia to see I got a sister that's 87 years old, and she's really bad off. And you know, I went out to Pennsylvania. You know, I told you the story about my cousin in Pennsylvania. We went out there and he died right in front of us.
Oh shit! When you recently just went?
Yeah, last on Tuesday.
I'm sorry to hear that.
We got down there about noon, and he was in a induced coma. And in the hospice, the nurses came in. A couple of nurses came in and said it's going to be tonight or tomorrow. And about 2 hours later, he was dead.
Wow.
That's terrible, Tom. Sorry to lost that.
He was a fun guy. I got a sister that's 87 years old that's real sick that's in hospice, and I'm going to go see her for a few days. So we'll do it week after next, and guess what we're going to get into? Buyers. Okay, let me ask you a question. You got 5 houses to show today. You're going to show me 5 houses. They're scattered all over. My price range is 200 to 300, or 250 to 300.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to show me?
300. No, 250.
Okay, what else? What's the last house you're going to show me?
300.
Plus.
The best house.
The last house you're going to show me is 325, 350. You know why? Because when I leave here today, I'm going to compare that one to all these others. And I'm starting to look under the mattress for the extra money and talk to grandma and all that kind of stuff. All right? Works that way.
It's funny because I
It really is. Sure, works that way. You show a house. You pull up in front of the house. Where do you stop? Here's the house. You're in your car. Where do you stop?
The street.
The street. I hope so. Yeah, but where? Where they can see, if you can, where they can see the house, because you're going to give them the preview of the house while you're sitting in the car. Because if you get out and start walking around, then you've lost them a little bit. I want them right in here with me. So if I can stop that car and there's the house, and let's talk about this one before we see it. Blah 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 blah. That makes sense? It makes a lot of sense to me. That's the kind of stuff we're going to start
What's
with.
the point of stopping to kind of let them soak it in? The
I
house?
want them to be looking at the house while I'm talking to them about it. And this one's got, this one's a split level. It's got 4 bedrooms, it's got 3 baths. Blah, 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 blah. It's a pretty nice house. It's been vacant for a while now. I want to tell them all that stuff right in the car. Right in the car. I don't want them meandering around. Now, I ask you another question. I'm showing a vacant house. All right? Do I lead them through the house or do I follow them through the house?
You follow.
Follow. Why?
See what they like?
See what they're most interested in. I guarantee if you showed my wife a house, she'd go to the kitchen and pull that oven open and then see if that stove was working right and everything. And if it didn't, she wouldn't look the rest of the house.
You let the husband, he'll probably go find a crawl space and boilers and everything like that.
No. You follow. You follow for a couple of reasons. One reason is they control the pace. If they go through there, they're not interested in that house. I would go like that. But if they take their time, room to room, that's one reason. Another reason
Well,
is
the best is, do
an-
you mind if I look in the basement again?
another reason is you can see what they miss. Did you see the Lazy Susan over there in the corner? Let's open that and see. Make sure you see that. That's a pretty nice feature. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Here's another reason. When you want to ask questions, stop in the door and you got a captive audience. They're already in the room. You got a captive audience. Right? Next. That's what we're going to start with next week. Or week after next. Okay? Good enough?